Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. And it's the first segment of the week again. Oh my goodness, how time flies. It seems like just the other day that we did the first segment. But anyway. So yeah, this is fan comments every Monday around 7 p.m. UK time. Make sure you, yes, I'm talking to you, subscribe to Cannon Fodder TV on all platforms, which will help us go up the rankings if you really believe that. Make sure you hit the notification button so you can receive all the latest and greatest news right here on Cannon Fodder TV. Right, so, what to do? What to do? Huh? Oh my goodness. Are we the unluckiest club in the land or on the planet? XHAKA gets injured. Pablo gets injured. LENO gets injured. Can it get any worse? I'm going to try and calm myself down first. Before I get into the news, I think I need to get into the fan comments because it is the fan comments segment, isn't it? Anyhow, so the first, and mind you, there are only a few. Nonetheless, we'll go into the comments because this is what the segment is all about. Right. So this time last week, the Voice of Reason, my brother did Man City versus Arsenal live review, and Stevens said he loved it. So thank you for that. Make sure you subscribe. I don't think you subscribe, Stevens. Make sure you do. So I'm going to come and haunt you. And then we've got Richard from Arsenal TV. He says, and mind you, this is the preview. So Richard is saying, my heart is saying we're going to win 2-1, but my mind is saying a draw 2-2. But if there is anyone who knows Pep Guardiola and the City players, then it's Mikel Arteta. So that could go in our favour because he will know how to set us up to beat them. The rest, as they say, is history. It didn't happen, did it? And then the last one we're going to go into, this was a post we put on Cannon Fodder TV in regards to Malpe, who says that Arsenal players got what they deserve and they need a lesson in humility. Was he right? Benicio Solano says it could be. Guys, what do you think? Do you think that the players, got a lesson in humility and they need to, they got they got what they deserve? It's a bit of a tongue twister. Did Arsenal players, get what they did? Did Leno get what he deserved? I mean, as much as there is a divide, seems to be a small divide about Leno getting injured, that Morphy had every right to go for the ball. What annoyed me more than anything else was the reaction of the Arsenal players, as if, oh, well, it's just another day. Yeah, someone's injured. Nobody literally went really over to Leno to talk to him or to even remonstrate with Malpe. That's what's got me more fired up than anything else. Yeah, mind you, Leno is what if the news is right, he's probably going to be out for the rest of the season. But that is what's annoying me more than anything else. That these players, the mentality of these players, how they play or how they do not play, it's summed up when Bernd Leno got injured. That in the moment, nobody remonstrated with Mopi. It's only when the youthfulness of Matteo Guendouzi, who grabbed him by the throat, then the players decide to fight. Too little, too late. Too little, too late. The mentality of these players for the thousandth time is absolutely terrible. Arteta, rightly, needs to get rid of a lot of these players before he can move forward. And actually, on my way in home from work, I was having a quite reasonable tweet communication with another Arsenal fellow fan about the situation with Arteta. And I had said that, come Sunday, because, we're going to be in the FA Cup action against Chris Wilder's Sheffield United. And it's down to the players' personality, the mentality, are they going to be up for the fight? And I said, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because Arsenal players, they lack all these characteristics to get them over the line and beat Chris Wilder's team, who are always, listen, I know they lost against Newcastle, and that's part and parcel of the sport. That is football. There can be only 3 outcomes: win, lose, or draw. You can't expect, well, actually, probably only the Invincibles, a team to go throughout the whole season without losing. That's just the part of the game. That's part of the sport. And so anyway, so we're getting, exchanging them tweets. And at the end of the day, this is my opinion. At the end of the day, Arteta, I think this job was so massive. Arsenal are a big club, even though we lie in 10th place. Arsenal are a massive team. They're a massive club. And maybe there is a sense that this job is probably a little bit too big for Mikel Arteta, who lacks any real experience. He's only ever been number 2 to Pep. He's never managed any of the lower league clubs. And so he's fighting with the players to try and eke up the maximum possible from these players. And he's also having to fight with the board to try and get in quality players. So comes Sunday, I'm going to go for another 3-1 result for Sheffield United. As much as winning can be a habit, losing can also be a habit. And unfortunately, Arsenal are in the mire. They are in the mire. So guys, you can probably tell me, in the chat, do you think the job is actually too big for Mikel Arteta? Do you think the board are going to support him? Do you think Mikel Arteta will walk away from the club if he feels like he's not being listened to? So come into the chat and tell me, guys, what do you think? Right. So, like I said, the bare bones of it is that BERN LENO, if the news is correct, coming up from the Sun Online, he has suffered severe ligament knee injuries after colliding with Malpe. And it appears that he is going to be out for the rest of the season. And then all of a sudden, there's a player, ex-Man City player, and a player who's about to be let go by Burnley, Joe Hart. Is Joe Hart the answer to our woes? Now, I'm not saying to sign him short term. It could be sensible. I'm not saying shed out a whole, a bucket load of money. Actually, Arsenal don't have any money, do they? So I tweeted this out. And the question was, I can just get it here. BERN LENO out for the season. Is Joe Hart the solution? So at this point in time, there have been 52 votes. 15.4% said yes, he is. 50% said no, he isn't. And 34.6% said, what the hell's going on? What is going on? I mean, guys, do you think there could be any other goalkeepers that we could probably promote from the under-21s? Rather than looking at, a player who's, who's a has-been now, can't we just promote, the goalkeepers from the under-21s? Again, guys, that's another question for you guys. Come into the chat and tell me, what do you think about that? So BERN LENO is possibly out for the rest of the season. People are talking about Joe Hart. Is he the short-term answer? I'm not so sure about that. And then on the heels of that news, like I said from the get-go, about the players' reaction once BERN got injured, there was nobody there around him to ask him, are you okay? There was no captain to say, yeah, you know, who did it? All right, yeah, all right, come on, let's get it on. There was nobody there. It was only when Matteo Guendouzi grabbed Mope by the throat, there were scuffles. But by then, it was too little, too late. My segue is, apparently, from the Metro, Matteo Guendouzi will face no punishment, despite grabbing Brighton's Neil Mope around the throat after Saturday's heated clash at the Amex Stadium. Don't know how you guys view that. You know, is that a blessing in disguise? Do you think we can do that, Guendouzi? I'm not his biggest fan. I think, you know, he needs to be put out on loan. You know, he's so petulant, you know. But yeah. So let me go into the chat and see what people have been saying. Right. Okay. We'll go with scricketball. No, Mope got off lucky. If we had the team with Vieira, etc., he would have come out with a black eye, and that's what I said. You know, these players are so soft. Do they really like each other? You look at the PR machinery with the behind the scenes training. All the players are laughing, joking, doing redondas, they're doing exercises. Do the players really like each other? I don't think so. I don't think so. Moving on. Stan the Geezer. Hi, Alex. Very disappointed with how we collapsed at Brighton. Yeah. Terrible. Absolutely. You know, you see some teams, they lose, you know, a player, they go down to 10 men, but they would fight or probably eke out 1 point or miraculously, you know, get the 3 points. But with Arsenal, there's just like a sack of potatoes. You open them up, and they just collapse. And I know a lot of you have lauded Arteta. He hasn't done anything. I repeat, he has not done anything. I've not seen any improvement. There's not been any improvement. If anything, we've regressed. The team looks a lot worse, huffing and puffing, and we're not able to blow the house down. Well, Brighton's house down anyway, at least. And so is it that the fact, like I've been saying, we can't rely so much on one player to score the goals? The team is so unbalanced. You can't rely on one player to score the goals. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, he's started to misfire. If he's not scoring the goals, who's going to score the goals for us? We need midfielders to help the strikers. Who in the midfield can score goals? Tell me, who in the midfield can score goals? I repeat, and support Lacazette, who again had a stinker. Actually, he had a few chances, scuffing the shots, you know, blew them over the crossbar. What is going on with Arsenal? Ship a lot of them out and start all over again. Build a team around Martinelli, Leno, maybe Tierney at push, possibly Torreira, possibly Pepe, and that is just about it. We didn't see our number 10, did we, again? What's going on with that? And then I saw in the news that apparently, was it 2 or 3 players at Arsenal tested positive for the coronavirus? Things are getting from bad to worse. Chairman of the board, Mube Guna. I think Arteta just needs to clean the house at this point. I think Arteta will do well. All depends on board. He needs proper backing. Yep, he does. Everything happens for a reason. The players were not prepared to fight for the player of the season. Not even a damn yellow card. Absolutely disgrace. Disgrace. Was it Thierry Henry who said, if the badge is too heavy for you, then leave the club? Leave the club. And let's not get it twisted. I don't blame Arteta. I don't blame Emery. The decline happened with the manager who was there for 20 odd years. Buying in shorter players, quicker players, yeah, of course, but so easy to push off the ball. The soft centre of Arsenal, the soft underbelly of Arsenal, the chickens have come home to roost. Now, do you think Aubameyang will want to stay at Arsenal? Do you honestly think he's going to want to stay at Arsenal? Nah. Do I have any qualms with him not staying at Arsenal? No, I don't. No, I don't. Let's see, let's get back into the chat. You can't remove a manager who's only been in the job for 5 months, 3 of which were spent under lockdown. Thank you, Stanley Gazer. I did actually see you. I saw that's the same sentence that you tweeted out, and I think I did pen a like for that. You're right. That to ask for the head of Mikel Arteta after 5 months is ludicrous. Ludicrous. As much as I disagree with how Arsenal got rid of Unai Emery, we've got a coach in who seems to be saying the right things. We've got to back him. We've got to back him. Joe Hart? No, Martinez will do just fine. We have 2 good young keepers. And that's what I said, chairman of the board. Forget about Joe Hart. Let's promote the guys at the under-21 level. We won't know how good these players truly are unless you give them the chance. Guendouzi was our only player trying to play a forward pass. Ceballos is such a poor player. Yeah, you know what, chairman of the board, you're right. Ceballos is so poor. What's going on? What's going on? And in the same vein, Guendouzi, you're right. You're spot on. He was the only player. Well, actually, no, he wasn't the only player. XHAKA was the other player. I just see these players just there's no structure. There's no fight. I didn't even look at the stats. How many shots on goals do we have? 3, 4 maximum in 19 minutes. In 90 minutes, 4 shots on goal. Not good enough. Absolutely not good enough. And so, where do we go from here now? Where do we go from here now? I'll tell you where we go from here now. We march on Thursday, Southampton versus Arsenal. I'm not going to give you any of my opinions on that match. My brother, who does the Voice of Reason, he's already done his video, which is going to be uploaded on Wednesday. I myself, I won't be. I hope not. I won't be doing a live reaction straight after. I'm going to be hoping. I'm going to be jumping onto Jonathan from a Columbia Gunners podcast and watching it there with the guys from Central and South America. Yeah, I'm going to reserve judgment. I have a funny feeling it's probably going to be a triple header. We're lost against Man City. We're lost against Brighton. And Southampton might just finish us off. I don't trust these players to string 2 wins together. Where are Arsenal? Where are they going to get their next win from? Where are they going to get it from? And like I said, as much as winning can be, a habit, losing can be a habit as well. So we've got Southampton on Thursday, Sheffield United on Sunday, Norwich on Wednesday, the 1st of July, Wolves, the 4th of July, Leicester City, the 7th of July, and then we've got the North London Derby at Demlot, just down the road. Where's the next points going to come from? Where are Arsenal going to get the next points from? Nah, sorry. Back in the chat, just maybe for a couple more times. I just want to see our young players at this point. No more of Ozil crap, sick of it. Yeah, I think, chairman of the board, just give the youngsters an opportunity. We saw Reece Nelson play there, didn't we? I'm not sure what's happening with Martinelli. Tierney, I think it's too much to ask for him to come out guns blazing. Pardon the pun, because he's just come back from injury, hasn't he? But please, Arteta, give the youngsters a run out. We're currently in 10th place. We've got 40 points. We're not about to be relegated. The season's already finished. And this is the point I was trying to make on the easy talk. It wasn't the easy talk. It was actually these actually 2 weeks ago. The stadium is empty. You would have thought that the players would use that to their advantage. You don't have baying fans asking for blood. But in both the games, Arsenal couldn't use the advantage. Is that any advantage when you're playing in a stadium which is empty? Well, clearly it didn't work. It didn't work. But anyway, I think you're right, Chairman of the board. Give the youngsters, give them a chance. At least make us enjoy watching the youngsters for the rest of the season. Yeah, you're spot on. You're spot on, Chairman of the board. Just let the players play. And one of the contributors, James Rowe, who always says to me, Alex, but we must try and enjoy the season. Enjoy the season. And then you've got people saying, oh, Arteta out. What is going on? Arteta out? Give the guy a break. Give the guy a break. He's only just arrived. And as the accountant, Stan the Geezer said, it's only been 5 months, 3 of which were under lockdown. Give him a break. Ah, dearie me. It's bad when Mube goes in on our number 10. I didn't say his name because if I did, I would have to pay out some money to our accountant, Stan the Geezer. But it's the season is over. Let's not put pressure on ourselves. Arteta, fight your corner, speak to the board like you have done, where it would appear you're saying the right things. Let the youngsters have their time in the sun, because you never know. We might just have, discovered, the next diamond in the rough. You never know. But unless you play them, you're not going to know, are you? Guys, I'm going to go through 1 or 2 more comments in the chat. Again, I'll remind you guys, make sure you subscribe to Cannon Fodder TV on all platforms. Please hit the notification button. It's strange because some live podcasts we have a momentous amount of people in the chat. I say the same thing, subscribe, I get fantastic comments, and then the next podcast we do, the numbers will go down. So that tells me that people are not pressing the notification button to receive the latest and greatest news right here on Cannon Fodder TV. Right, one more time into the comments box. Chairman of the board says, yes, tired of it, man. Same players every week, same problems. Unai Emery had the same thing. The same players failing, week in, week out. Giving the signal, oh, I'm not feeling well. I don't think I can make it. Oh, I've got a bad back. Oh, get rid of these players. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Actually, not all of them, mind you. Guys, quickly, just coming to the chat with one last question. Which players do you think Arteta should keep? Which players do you think Mikel Arteta should keep? So I'll give you like a few more minutes just to come into the chat and tell me. It's not players that he should get rid of. Tell me, A, which player do you think Arteta should build a team around? And which players do you think he should keep at Arsenal? Because money, we don't have any money. We need to get rid of a whole bucket load of players before we can bring in new players, which would mean you've got to give the youngsters a chance. Got to give the youngsters a chance. Right, let's see. Just a quick shout out to Canon 14 Mafia, which is the chairman of the board, Mube Guna, the accountant, Stan Giza, and the Minister of Information, IG, aka Indian Guna. These guys do an absolute fantastic job. So does all my other guests, including the original Godfather himself, Eltel, and my brother Raz, who does the Voice of Reason every Wednesday. And if I've forgotten your name, to mention your name, please, I do apologize. But yeah, I'm hoping that the Canon 14 Mafia will be back in action from July. So again, guys, make sure you subscribe to Canon 4 TV on all platforms, especially with Stan Giza with his segment of Goonies of Vancouver, absolute corker of a segment. Make sure you go into the comments box and always let Stan Giza know your thoughts about the game, and maybe us as the channel, how we can improve the channel content. Right, there's just been a couple more, and let's have a look. Right, so scricketball says Tierney, Saka, Martinelli, Guendouzi, and Alba. I don't think Alba is going to want to stay, but that's your opinion. Chairman of the board says all the youngsters keep, and I would keep yeah, that's a good point. I would keep Marty. We haven't seen much of him, have we? And just to think, he had never got injured, never. When it comes to Arsenal, and he gets injured. At this point, I'm not against selling Alba and Laka. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Guys, if Alba wants to go, if Laka wants to go, let's recoup the money and build on that. Stanley Giza says Leno, Tierney, Holding, Chambers, Pepe, Saka, Martinelli, yes, Saliba, who is yet to come at Arsenal, and Torreira. Yeah, not bad shout, accountant. And I see some people saying that Holding, he looks too short, but you've got to give the guy a chance. He's been injured for how long? Give him a chance. It's unfortunate because it seems like Arsenal are scraping and panicking to get the points. And the poor guy, he's just playing catch up, isn't he? Like the majority of the players. Owen Smith-Rowe needs to come back from Huddersfield. Yeah. Right. Okay, guys, listen, I'm going to call it quits. But before I do, again, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who came in to watch this segment of fan comments, just going through all the comments that you guys religiously put on the channel, whether it's after, Goonies of Vancouver, or after the Voice of Reason, or after the Easy Talk, or after fan comments. I personally do appreciate you guys tuning in every single week. And from myself and my brother, we would like to say a big thank you. This Friday, the Ease Talk is going to be very, very interesting. We're going to have James Rowe back, as well as Jerry Johnston, who is a football writer, and of course, Enigmatic IG, Minister of Information. It's going to be a very, very interesting Easy Talk. Guys, if you've been wondering who or what you've been watching Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.